The streets of New York hummed with life as the evening sun cast a warm golden glow over the towering skyline. Among the hurried footsteps of strangers and the distant honks of cabs, Maya walked alone, lost in thought. The burden of sadness still haunts her, wrapping around her like an invisible shroud. As she passed by a small bookstore, she caught sight of a father and daughter laughing inside. A sharp feeling of longing pierced her chest. Her phone vibrated in her pocket, pulling her from the moment. She glanced at the screen, expecting a message from a friend or a work reminder. Instead, her breath hitched. "Don't forget to smile today." Her fingers trembled as she read the words. It was a message from her father's old number. "Dad?" she whispered, her heart pounding. It couldn't be. He was gone. The number had been disconnected after his passing. Swallowing hard, she quickly dialed the number. The call failed. She tried again. Still nothing. The next day, Maya sat in a quiet cafe, stirring her untouched coffee. Her best friend Sarah slid into the seat across from her, noticing her pale face and distant expression. "Maya, are you okay?" Sarah asked, concern laced in her voice. Maya exhaled shakily, turning her phone to show Sarah the message. "I got this text from my dad's old number." Sarah frowned, taking the phone. "That's not possible. His number was disconnected, right?" Maya nodded. "I don't understand. It's exactly something he used to say to me." Sarah hesitated, then suggested, "Maybe someone else has the number now?" "Could be a scam." Maya wanted to believe that, but something inside her refused to accept it as a coincidence. The messages continued. Over the next few days, each one echoed her father's familiar words. "You're stronger than you think. I'm proud of you." It was as if he was speaking directly to her. The more the texts arrived, the more she felt his presence lingering around her. Unable to shake the feeling that this was more than chance, she decided to investigate. Her friend Mark, a telecom technician, agreed to help. After a few calls and several times data check, he finally had an answer. "Maya, I checked. Your dad's number was reassigned last month. It now belongs to a guy named Ryan." Her breath caught. So someone else did have the number. But why were these texts so perfectly timed? "I need to find him," she said with quiet determination. She found the man's address, and after following him for a while, she dared to ask him at a coffee shop. Unaware of the strange connection they shared, he was in his early 30s, friendly but clearly confused when Maya approached him. "I know this sounds crazy, but I've been receiving texts from your number. Messages that sound exactly like my father," she explained. Ryan blinked in surprise. "I don't understand. I only text my sister. She's been going through a rough time, and I've been sending her encouraging messages." Maya pulled out her phone and showed him the messages. Ryan did the same. A stunned silence settled between them. The texts were identical. "I had no idea they were reaching you instead," he murmured. Maya felt a lump form in her throat. It hadn't been intentional, yet somehow the words had arrived when she needed them most. It was as if fate, or something greater, had intervened. Meanwhile, their conversation continued to flow naturally about their personal lives and families, as if they had known each other for a long time. Before Maya realized the sky was getting dark, she quickly said goodbye to Ryan and left the cafe. That evening, she visited her father's grave, kneeling before the headstone. The city noise faded into a soft hum, and for the first time in months, she felt a quiet peace. "I know you're still with me," she whispered, placing fresh flowers beside his name. "Thank you for finding a way to remind me." Her phone vibrated one last time. "I always be with you." A tear slipped down her cheek, but this time it wasn't from sorrow. She looked up at the sky. She smiled. The stars shining like silent guardians. A warm breeze swept past her, wrapping around her like a gentle embrace. For the first time in a long while, she truly believed it. Love never ends.